श्री राधे व्रज जन मन सुखकारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। श्री राधे व्रज जन मन सुखकारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। श्री राधे व्रज जन मन सुखकारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। मोर मुकुट मकराकृत कुंडल गल वैजंती माला। मोर मुकुट मकराकृत कुंडल गल वैजंती माला। चरण नुपुर रसाला राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। श्री राधे व्रज जन मन सुखकारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। सुंदर वदन कमल दल लोचन बाकी चितवन हारी। सुंदर वदन कमल दल लोचन बाकी चितवन हारी। मोहन वंशी विहारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। श्री राधे व्रज जन मन सुखकारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। वृंदावन में धेनु चरावे गोपी जन मनहारी। वृंदावन में धेनु चरावे गोपी जन वनमारी। श्री गोवर्धन दारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। श्री गोवर्धन दारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। श्री राधे व्रज जन मन सुखकारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। श्री राधे व्रज जन मन सुखकारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। राधा कृष्ण मिलिया दो गौर रूप अवतारी। राधा कृष्ण मिलिया दो गौर रूप अवतारी। कीर्तन धर्म प्रचारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। कीर्तन धर्म प्रचारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। श्री राधे व्रजन मन सुखकारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। राधे व्रज जन मन सुखकारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। तुम बिना मेरे और न कोई नाम रूप अवतारी। तुम बिना मेरे और न कोई नाम रूप अवतारी। तुम बिना मेरे और न कोई नाम रूप अवतारी। चरणन में बलिहारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। श्री राधे व्रज जन मन सुखकारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम। Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Shyam, Shyam. Radhe Vrajajana Manasukakari. Radhe Shyam, Shyam, Shyam. Shri Radhe Vrajajana Manasukakari. Radhe Shyam, Shyam, Shyam. Shri Radhe. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bolo Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Sham Sham. Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Sham Sham. Radhe Vraja Jana Mana Sukhakari, Radhe Sham Sham Sham. Radhe Vraja Jana Mana Sukhakari, Radhe Sham Sham Sham. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham Sham Sham. Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham Sham Sham. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jayo Radha, Gopinath, Radha, Gopinath, Radhe. Jayo Lalita Vishaka, Jayo Lalita Vishaka, Lalita Vishaka, Jayo Lalita Vishaka. Krishna Balaram, Jayo Krishna Balaram. Jayo Gauranitai, 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 Jayo Gauranitai. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Jayo Prabhupada. Jayo Jayo Gurudev, 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 Jayo Jayo Gurudev. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Hari Naam Sankirtan ki Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Very delighted to see all of you. Thank you to the entire Kirtan team for the beautiful bhajan. So today we are celebrating 159th Chetana festival, so a big round of applause for that. So today we have a very special speaker with us. Her name is Dr. Roshni Upadhyay. A big round of applause. Rukmini Mataji, she studied medicine and did her post-graduation from KM Hospital and St. GS Medical College. She has been a consultant dermatologist and a trichologist from past 19 years. She's been practicing as a senior consultant dermatologist at Bhakti Vedant Hospital, Mira Road, and Holy Spirit Hospital, Andheri. She's been practicing Krishna consciousness since 1990. She's received her initiation from Radhanath Swami Maharaj in the year 1993. Serving as a spiritual counselor in the counselor board of Sri Sri Radha Gopinath Mandir and also ISKCON Goa. She's been involved with various congregational development and devotion care. She's been assisting with the youth and guiding them and counseling them in colleges and universities both in Mumbai, Manipal and Goa. She's been a regular speaker at the monthly Chetana festival at ISKCON Chowpatty since 2004. So without any further ado, let us welcome Rukmini Mataji. A big round of applause. Mataji. I would request Ishita to please welcome Mataji with a beautiful garland.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Am I audible? Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Shri Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. It's on behalf of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. I feel really fortunate to welcome all of you for today's Chetana festival. Actually, it's such a change. The last 2 years, whenever we were having the Chetana festival, of course, the last few months we've been having it offline, but it was always on the screen, so I could only see few of your faces and few not. But so it's nice to see happy, smiling faces of all of you wonderful girls back in this Chetana festival. So today our topic that we plan to discuss over the next few moments is this topic called Shield Against Stress. So this is a topic called Shield Against Stress. I think in our lifetime 2 things would be there. We had a life pre-COVID and we have an era called as a post-COVID era, right? So as doctors, this was how our appearance was during the COVID times. No? We had the shield and the PPE and everything. Did you see people like this the last 2 years? Yes? Okay. So this shield, why? Because the COVID virus was everywhere and the healthcare workers were working amidst this. So that is why what they had to do? They had to shield themselves. They had to protect themselves. So that is where the topic for today also comes. That is shield against stress. Okay? So stress is there everywhere, every point. It just takes a little to panic and get stressed out. You agree? Yes? Every moment. Just like I was coming right now and there was a huge traffic jam in Andheri. So I was thinking I have to go and speak about stress, but here itself I am stressed trying to reach on time to the station, to the program. So stress is everywhere, but we need to shield against stress. Why? So that we don't react, but we respond to the situation. Because the minute we react, then we just panic and what we do doesn't make sense, right? But when we are cool and calm, then we can function effectively. You agree? Okay, now before we start, one important thing is that it is going to be an interactive session. So it's not going to be one-sided that I'll keep on telling and you can just go off to another space. So we'll be interactive because it's something very practical. This doesn't need something, too much of thinking because all of us go through it, right? Okay. So during this COVID era, I just want to start off with something that probably most of you must have read or heard during these last 2 years. There's this one of our senior doctors who works at Tata Memorial Hospital. So he had shared a blog about one patient of his, a little girl called Muskan. How many of you have heard about it? Sure must have read, as it was circulated a lot. And I was very inspired. So I want to share it with all of you today because it is very relevant to our topic as well. Okay, there is this 14-year-old young girl. How many of you are 14? All above 14? Radha Kund is here. She turned 15. So Muskan is a small girl who is 14 years old from Jharkhand, a small town. And she was diagnosed with a terrible cancer. And she and her father, they came to Bombay for treatment, to Mumbai, to Tata Hospital. So she underwent a surgery, and anytime when we are not well, you know how it is, right? And the mother could not come because she had a younger sibling to take care of in the village. So it was only father and daughter who had come. And this was somewhere just before COVID started. And she underwent a surgery, quite a major surgery. And at that time, as she was recovering in the hospital, she contracted COVID. And all of you remember that time when COVID just entered India? Yeah, you remember what confusion it was. People are just picked up, taken to hospital. There's so much of fear. And at this point, this little girl, 14-year-old girl, Muskan, contracted COVID. So then, because she got that infection, so she had to be, what is that? What was done? Isolated. Yeah, this is a very common word, no? Isolated, right? So she had to be isolated. Now, that was isolation was done at a big setup. The government had set up so many things. So in a one setup that she had to be isolated. But the problem was that her father did not get the infection. Only she got. Correct? So we all know what used to happen if one member got, right? Now here there were only two of them, she and her father. Now this child had come all the way to the city of Bombay, underwent a surgery and everything just because she was clinging on to her father. Right? You can imagine putting ourselves in her shoes. And at that point, suddenly they said, no, now she has to stay away in another place where her father can't meet her. So you can imagine the amount of, pain that the child was going through. And she was refusing to leave her father. Her father also wanted to go. How could he leave her child? And in all this, this Dr. Pankaj Chaturvedi, he's a senior cancer surgeon at Tata Hospital. So he's the one who's relating this story. So he saw this whole thing, and he also has a young daughter of his own, almost the same age. So he could relate what is going on there. No? So somehow he assured the father that don't worry, I am there here, so I will take care of her like my daughter because I'll be visiting. He was taking care of that setup. And he told Muskan, don't worry, I am there like your father. So anything is there, you just tell me. So that's how, with lot of tears, it happened that he separated both of them. And the first day itself, she called up Dr. Pankaj, and she was all in tears. She refused to eat. You can understand the pain, what it was like. The whole night, even he could not sleep because he was also feeling that how this child will stay all alone in the ward with so many other people whom she doesn't know. The next day morning when he called up, Muskan did not pick up the phone. He called up the sister in the ward that what has happened to that girl. The sister said that girl is not on her bed at all. What would you think at that time? Suppose you were in Dr. Pankaj's place. What would you think? She ran away. Yeah, what else? Sneaked out. So many things, you get, where would she go? What would have happened to her? She was under so much of stress. She was crying so much. What would have happened? So all sorts of thoughts started coming in his brain and nobody could, answer him where she's gone. And he rushed to the hospital, to this place. And when he rushed in, within minutes he reached, and what did he see? He saw that Muskan was there just at wherever that border was there, beyond which only COVID positive can go. So he saw this girl with 5 other elderly ladies who had just been admitted, and they were not like, literate. They did not know how to read, write, whatever. So Muskan had taken over the responsibility of being their guide. She was coordinating with the staff, she was coordinating with the patients, telling them where to go, how to go, do this, do that. And Dr. Pankaj was shocked. He was wondering how such a small girl, within a span of one night, from being a helpless girl, crying away, feeling so sad, she had suddenly evolved into such a mature, guide sort of. And in the next few days, she had a limp because she had a major surgery. But with her limp, she was everywhere. Because all of the doctors were dressed like this. All the nurses were dressed like this. Muskan was the only healthcare worker, come patient, who was without any mask, who was without any PPE, and she is moving around, taking care of this patient and that patient, and giving someone their tablets, helping the sisters with this one with that, and like that, it just went on. She just, of course, she was sad. So initially she would call up Dr. Pankaj maybe 2 times, 3 times, and then gradually her phone calls started reducing. She was so busy taking care of everybody else that she forgot her own misery. Can you imagine how suddenly one can, that whole thing was such a miserable situation. Even people, all of us who got isolated at home, you remember how it was? How many of you got isolated with COVID at home? Nobody got COVID? Wow. It's an amazing crowd. So, anyways, whoever got, it was, you had to be cut off with everyone. But this child, within moments, had done this. So finally, after her stay, when she had to go back, people didn't know whether to be sad or whether to be happy. Why? Because she was such an example for everyone that even in that period of misery, she had made it into something where she could give rather than just take. So this is somewhere our underlying current as we go through this topic, because all of us go through so many of such situations in our life. Maybe little, maybe big, maybe small, so many things where we have some separation, some heartbreak, some, bad news, something where there is a loss, etc., etc., etc. Yes, you agree? Is this a topic which is relevant to everyone? Yes. So, just keep Muskan's story somewhere in your heart as we go on this journey, okay? So, we reminded ourselves of this World Mental Health Day. This was on 10th October. Okay? Just like we take care of our body, you eat well, you drink well, you sleep well, there is also the mind. Right? All of us have a mind. Can you see your mind? But does it exist? Why? How do you say it exists? Why do you say mind exists? I can't see your mind. I can see you in green dress, blue dress, red dress. I can't see your mind. Why should I believe that you have a mind? Come on. There are no marks for answering these questions. Huh? Please feel free. Why do you think you have a mind? Because we can think. Correct? All of us can think. Even now when we are talking, you are thinking, right? You are thinking, you are feeling, you are willing. You had a willing that, okay, today let me go. Let me go for this Chetana program. You made a desire, you thought and you came, right? You thought about it. So thinking, feeling, willing. You're feeling also. You're feeling cold or you're feeling hot. Or you're feeling nice. Sometimes there's no reason. अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. क्या अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है? कौन बोल रहा है वो कि अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है? What makes you think अच्छा लग रहा है, अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है? बहुत मज़ा आ रहा है. क्या? किसको मज़ा आ रहा है? It's the mind, right? It's giving you these thoughts, correct? So that is why taking care of the body and the mind is so very important. And that is why the world over now it is understood and recognized that सिर्फ सब टेम्परेचर, पल्स, बीपी, शुगर सब चेक किया तो ठीक है, नॉर्मल है इंसान. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. द पर्सन ऑल्सो हैज़ टू बी स्टेबल इन द माइंड, हैज़ टू बी पीसफुल इन mind. That's why this World Mental Health Day was done, and it was the theme was, they have a theme every year, and this year the theme was that mental health is a priority all over the globe. All over the globe. Okay, every individual has to be given proper mental health. We have to see that they are happy physically and mentally. Okay. So what we are talking of today is stress. So the definition of stress is, the definition is very chota, but then you know what it means, correct? Exam kal hai to kuch to hota hai, right? That stress is there, right? So much, something has to be done, it's there somewhere, right? So this is a definition. There is an emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. Something where you have to do something, or something is not happening the way it should happen. Your friend speaks something rudely to you. You feel somewhere something, right? There is some stress. You come in and she looks the other way. क्या होता है? कुछ तो होता है ना? Yeah. Mom expects you to do something, and you don't want to do it, right? So there is something in the house, right? Both of you may be there, but there is something, correct? So there is this stress. The definition is just this sentence, but we all know what it means, right? It can be different types, right? So as students, academic or emotional, relationship issues, so many things. So usually what they say is, when there is stress, you have something called as a fight or a flight response. या तो you face it or you run away. You fight against it or you run away. Suddenly something happens, what will you do? You will just run away. अगर कोई someone comes to attack, it's a fight or a flight response. Okay, that is because there is something called as adrenaline which is secreted in the body and which makes us do that. We'll not go into the details of all those, but essentially ये तभी होता है जब there is something to be done immediately. That is when all this is done. But ये कभी अचानक, sometimes it happens, it's okay. But if constantly you are in stress, have you seen a pressure cooker? What is there in the pressure cooker? Steam, no? Which is, it's under pressure with steam that something is cooked, correct? But if you're constantly under stress, it feels like you are inside a pressure cooker. Yes? Constantly something heavy is there and you're just functioning at that. So constant stress is not good for our health. Okay? So because the same response keeps happening constantly. Now because of that, what happens is you see so many people committing suicide, going into depression. I was amazed to read the rate. You know what is the rate? Every 40 seconds. How much is 40 seconds? It's not even a minute. Every 40 seconds, there is a suicide happening somewhere in the world. Can you believe that? Somewhere in the world, there is a suicide happening every 40 seconds. When does one do suicide? You just feel that life is not worth living, right? I can't live. That is the time when commit suicide. And recently, I have been encountering, the reason I thought of this topic was that suddenly, within a week, I heard of suicides of people over different age groups. I heard a school child committing suicide. I heard a middle-aged person doing suicide. I heard a university graduate who she just finished her graduation, she committed suicide. So that is the reason I thought that, wow, let us revisit this topic, because this is something which does happen and we should know how to cope with it. Yes? So suicides, depression is very, very common. What do you see? Can you be loud? Both my ears don't function very well. It's an empty boat. Where is the boat? Sorry? Middle of the sea? Somewhere in the water it is. Okay? As long as a boat is like this in the water, it can sail. What is the thing which can make this boat sink? Hole. Correct? Same way, we are in this world where there are so many types of stress. You can still sail through. But if there is a hole in us, there is a loop, where you are not able to control yourself, then what happens? We sink in the stressful world. So we have to see that we stay afloat. There is stress everywhere, but we don't have to allow it to affect us. Yes, we shouldn't allow that water to enter inside the boat. Water everywhere, fine. Stress everywhere, okay. But don't allow the stress to affect us. Yes, then we can function. So, can anybody tell me what is this? Kurukshetra, Mahabharat, what are you seeing? Yeah, Bhagavad Gita is on that side, yes. Before that, the first picture, what are you seeing? Arjuna is helpless. How is Arjuna standing there? His hands are over his head, and the description which is given is his limbs are trembling, his mouth is going dry, his gandiva is slipping from his shoulders, tears are flowing from his eyes. Does it happen when we go for Viva or something like that? Similar है ना picture? मुंह सूखा सूखा होता है, पेट में कुछ तो गुड़गुड़ हो रहा है. Yes, you don't know what to do, your limbs are trembling. So Arjuna, by the definition of depression, he was in depression at that time. So you can see he just puts everything down. He's standing in the battlefield of Kurukshetra where everybody is assembled, and in that he puts everything down and he says, Krishna, I will not fight. I'm just putting everything down. I'll just go and become a beggar. I don't want to fight. So Arjuna was in that state of stress, depression. So what did Krishna do? That is the next picture. What did Krishna do? What Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita. So this is like one of the first stress management seminars that was held where? In the battlefield of Kurukshetra, to Arjuna, the most competent, the most powerful warrior. There was no one better than him, but he went into stress. Irrespective of his capability, irrespective of his, greatness, he went into stress, right? And in the middle of when he's going to do, like suppose some assignment is given to you, और वो just submit ही करना है, और आप ऐसे थर काँपने लगे, or you have to give a presentation, and you say, no, I can't do it. Huh? So he's on the verge of performing, and he collapses. Say, no, I can't do it. And the whole war is actually dependent on him. Okay? At that time he collapses. So what does Lord Krishna do? He spoke the Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita was spoken to someone who's in stress. Yeah? And that is why when after Arjuna heard the Bhagavad Gita, what did he do? After he finished hearing Bhagavad Gita, what did Arjuna do? He got together his courage and stood up to fight. Did Arjuna after hearing Bhagavad Gita said, oh, very nice class Krishna, now मैं कम्बल ओढ़ता हूँ, सो जाता हूँ? Did he do that? No. What did he do? He got up and he fought. He fought with such valor that the entire Mahabharata describes that valor. Unprecedented valor. Unprecedented archery, which no one had ever seen before. after hearing the Bhagavad Gita. Someone would completely collapse. He was able to do that. So the same Bhagavad Gita is applicable to all of us also. Arjuna was nimitta matra. He was just an instrument so that the Bhagavad Gita reaches all of us. Okay? All of us go through these situations. So what is the solution is from the Bhagavad Gita, along with so many other things. So that is what we are going to discuss now. So the first thing we need to understand as we go ahead is that we are having these bodies, but we are not these bodies. According to the Bhagavad Gita, we are actually spirit soul. So we have this body which is visible, all of us have, that is called gross body, which is visible, okay, which is made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether. This is the body. This component is this. But within this body is also another body called a subtle body. I asked you, what is the proof that you have a mind? That means there is a subtle body. And that subtle body is mind, intelligence and false ego. Okay? Just like intelligence. I can't see your intelligence, right? But it is there. So this is the basic understanding that we need to know as we go ahead. Okay? So it's explained very beautifully. Just like you have seen a rath, a chariot, right? What does a chariot have? There are horses. Horses are held with reins. Then there is a person who is the controller of the reins. So very simple to understand is that those horses, like this body is like the rath. All of us have this body which is like a rath. Okay? There is a person he is a passenger in that rath. Okay? Who is that passenger? That is I, you, in your own bodies. Okay? That is the soul. And then who are the horses in this rath? Who are the horses in the rath? 5 senses. What are the 5 senses? There are the 5 senses which are the 5 horses. What are the reins controlling those senses? The mind. Huh? You see a poster of a movie. The eyes see it. Immediately the mind says, "Dekhna chahiye." है ना? Yes or no? Your ears hear something, some music. Immediately your mind goes towards it. Right? Yeah? So all these senses are like the horses. One day the eyes will see like this. They say, "Chalo, mind goes here." And at that time, who is the one who controls it? You see a beautiful dress. Okay? And you know that some money has been kept for your exams. Correct? But you know that you want that dress. I is saying, "Ye dress bahut acha hai." Right? But your mom has said that this money is for your exam fees. Right? Mind says, "Le lete hai dress." But who controls that mind there? Who says कि नहीं भाई exam देना है, exam fees देना है? Who says that? Intelligence. Who says that? Intelligence. Because intelligence is the one who is a decision maker. Right? Mind अभी yellow dress देखे बोले चलो yellow dress बहुत अच्छा है. वो दूसरी दुकान में red dress देखे बोले red dress बहुत अच्छा है. चलो ये देखेंगे वो. But does that mean the intelligence will allow you to keep on doing that? No. The intelligence tells yes. Intelligence says no. Correct? So who is the most powerful among these? Who? Intelligence. But if the intelligence is weak, then what will happen? What will happen? Intelligence strong है तो वो पकड़ के रखेगा. If intelligence weak है तो क्या होगा? क्या होगा? Eyes they'll run somewhere, the ears will think of something, the mind will run here, then the mind will run here, right? You want to see something on this thing, your Instagram now, उसके बाद किसी और का phone आता है, फिर आपने कुछ movie देखा उधर जाएंगे, फिर ये करेंगे. What is happening? Right? You have your exam coming tomorrow, right? But you want to spend some time with your friend, so your eyes say, "चल उधर जाते हैं." Then your ears say, "Arey, let's listen to this music," right? But your intelligence, if it's strong, he'll pull you, say, "No, you have to do this. Okay, let's do that later." But if intelligence is weak, what you will do? You'll spend the whole day like that. Yes or no? So this is something which we should understand, that what needs to be very strong? Intelligence. Then intelligence will control the reins, which is the mind, and that will control the senses. Okay? So this basic concept, if it is clear, then we can go ahead. We'll not go into the details of this, we'll go later. So whenever there is a problem, correct? Whenever there is a problem, what actually makes it a problem or not is what? How we see it. Like, suppose, for breakfast, if you go for a picnic or something, the cook is a South Indian. तो वो सुबह ब्रेकफास्ट भी साउथ इंडियन बनाता है, दोपहर का खाना भी साउथ इंडियन बनाता है, रात का भी कोकोनट बना के साउथ इंडियन बनाता है, राइट? सो साउथ इंडियन विल बी वेरी हैप्पी, हाँ, बट बाकी लोगों को तकलीफ होती है ना. तो इज इट अ प्रॉब्लम और इट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम? इज इट अ प्रॉब्लम और इट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम? व्हाट डू यू फील? कि सुबह इडली वड़ा सांभर, दोपहर को भी चावल सांभर, रात को भी दही चावल एंड सांभर. इज इट अ प्रॉब्लम और इट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम? It is not a problem, it is a situation. How do you say that? It depends on the perception, right? So everything in life, there is some perception how we look at it, right? How we look at it changes how that thing is a problem or it's not a problem, correct? Sometimes some things are very small things, but we make it very big, right? You make a mountain out of a molehill. Like your mother got angry at you or just spoke something. Either you can just sit and hear it and go about your work, or you can get very upset. You can get very upset, not talk to her for 2 days, keep मुंह फुला के बैठो 2 दिन के लिए. It all depends on how you perceive it. So everything in life depends on our perception, right? So same way, whenever we are in the midst of a problem, it looks like बहुत बड़ा है, right? This very big problem. Just like if you go out and you see those skyscrapers. Skyscrapers look very big, no? There are some skyscrapers here around some close by. They look very big, correct? But suppose I give you an airplane and you sit on that airplane and you go up, और आप ऊपर से वो skyscraper को देखते हो, then how does the skyscraper look? Very small, like matchbox, correct? Similarly, it's explained that when we are in the middle of a problem, everything looks so big. Arey, I have such a big problem. I cannot do this. I cannot do that. I failed. I didn't get admission into this college. I wanted this stream only. I didn't get this job. And in the middle of it, we feel so disturbed. She got, he got, everybody got. I didn't get, right? But how can we minimize that problem? Problem exists. When we go up, take an aerial view, okay, then you can see it completely. जब हम 4 बिल्डिंग के बीच में खड़े हैं तो हमें 4 बिल्डिंग का सामने ही दिखेगा, लेकिन आप ऊपर जाओगे, then you can see the whole thing in its perspective. So same thing with our situations of stress, right? So today we will learn how to take a little aerial view of our situations in life, okay? So we are going on a airplane. So tighten your seat belts and we'll take off. Ready? Yes? I can't hear a very enthusiastic yes. It seems like अरे कहाँ से आगे drag कर रहे. Is it so? Sure? बहुत low no है. Okay. So why do we feel stress? First thing is, what is it? We want to be the controllers. Everywhere we want to be the controller. It has to be whether control of money, control of situation, and we are so used to everything happening at the press of a button. You want to change the temperature, feeling very hot, just and immediately temperature changes, right? Right? But our mothers and our grandmothers and all, they didn't have that facility, did they? Huh? You want to speak to someone, you just, just press a button and there you are connected to your friend who is in Timbuktu also. You can call and speak right now, idhar se bhi, right? Yeah. But that was not the case earlier. So they had to send a letter, then the letter will reach, then that person will read, then the letter will come back. So it used to take time. So with that, what they used to develop? Patience. So with all of us, what is happening with the quick life that we are in? What we are losing? Patience. So when we lose patience, what happens? We want everything immediately, instant. And the advertisements also show like that. What do they show? Midnight mein, if you want like eating what? What do you want to eat? Choose some item. Rasgulla. Chalo. Yeah? You can get it in minutes, right? Earlier, if you have to think, you have to make rasgulla, then you have to think, chalo abhi paneer banana hai, ye karna hai, doodh lena, kal doodh lena hai, doodh ke baad paneer banana hai, fir wo rasgulla banega. Correct? Now it's not like that. Just call up Zomato, Blinkit is there, just one button, that's it, and it's here. So we are thinking that we are controllers of the situation, right? But is it true? Can we control everything? We can control some things, but we cannot control everything. That is what we need to understand, right? So sometimes we say it is either my way or the highway. Even amongst friends, we say, you listen to what I am saying. Otherwise, leave it. We don't want our friendship. Correct? So this is where stress comes in. There are many facets for stress, but since we have very short time, we'll be just quickly going through a few of them. Okay? So mind is like this book. It just collects all these impressions and then reflects on it. Huh? Our thoughts. If you see something violent, you see a violent movie, automatically those things come. You keep hearing some abusive words, the mind stores it and it comes out, right? So same way, mind is like that book, it just keeps recording it and it comes out. So as I was saying, controller, is everything under control? No. So there is this thing called a circle of influence and circle of concern. That center wala, that is what we can do, something which we can control. But the outer one, we have no control. Huh? What China does tomorrow, attacks our borders, you have any control? No. Tomorrow I have to get up at 6 o'clock for school. I have control? So, circle of influence and circle of concern. Okay? So the inner one is circle of where you have your control, where you can work on it. Right? I want to sleep properly 7 hours a day. You have a control? Yes. So, when can we be peaceful? When we work on the things which are there under our control. Don't waste your energy on things which are not in your control. Yes? So, as we were discussing this, the next point is association. Company. First was controller. You want to be the controller. Second is what company we keep. Who are our friends? Who are we spending time with? Is how we respond to situations, right? So it's you know, there was always this saying, no, you show me your friends and I can tell you what type of a person you are, right? Because we automatically get those things what our associates are doing. Whom are you? Who are your friends? Correct? So when you are stressed and you approach your friend, what advice they give will depend on what type of friend you have. Correct? So either they can give you things to increase your stress and complicate the problem, or relieve the stress and reduce the problem, right? So that is why this is a very, very important thing. And the type of company we have will give the type of thoughts. Correct? You know, you have some people who have good, you be with them, you feel very nice, very peaceful, very happy. And with some people, when you're there, automatically it is so much of negative thoughts. Yes? Have you seen that? Yes. So it's so important about what association we keep. So this is like two parrots, a story that says there are two parrots, they were separated at birth, bichhad gaye, janam pe. So one parrot was taken care by the dacoits and one parrot was taken care by the sadhus. Okay? So whenever anybody would pass through that forest, the dacoits ke saath jo parrot tha, he would just keep shouting, catch them, beat them, catch them, beat them. Huh? And the other parrot who was with the sadhus, whenever anybody would pass by, would they say, please come, please sit, please take some water. You see the difference? Two of them born together, but just by what they associated with, automatically the thought process, the response was different. Okay? Is this familiar? Is this familiar? Why I can't hear anything? Is this familiar? Is this happening all around us? Why? Why? You must be having friends, right? All of you must be having friends like this. I mean, every class, every school, every college, every office, I am very sure. Yes or no? Or I am exaggerating it? So why? Yes. So Radha Kund says that it relieves stress by smoking. You've heard this? Yeah? बहुत pressure हो रहा है यार. Yes, not even this now. I think I was updated recently that it is not those. There's something called as e-cigarettes now, called vaping. I didn't even know this. I think Dr. Reena Patel is also in a shock. We have not heard of this. But this is the recent thing, right? It's very common. Why? Because that person, when that person was in stress, whoever company that person took, explain to that person, क्या बहुत tension हो रहा है, चले के ले ले. Yes? So that is what company makes. In movies. So what happens in the movies when you're seeing, you're in the company of those people, right? You're seeing that, you're absorbing it. See, when we are with friends, what happens? We absorb. Correct? We see, we spend time, we absorb. Right? So same thing happens when you spend 2 hours, 3 hours seeing something like that, then we feel, yeah, this is right. So when I have stress, what should I do? This. Huh? So this is the company which gives that. That smoking is cool. Is it cool? It may just help to temporarily just make you forget for some time. But is it something which is going to be beneficial? No. You're creating a bigger problem for yourself. You're destroying this precious human life that you have got with a terrible, terrible disease. That is on one sense. Right? Yeah? Or alcohol. Sare bhul ja. Just chill. Just relax. Right? This is what the wrong company can do to us. So when we are in stress, to add to the stress, if it is a wrong company which guides us like this, then my dear friends, this is not the solution. This is not the solution. Yeah? It will only increase stress. It will not reduce stress. It will make our whole life miserable. So, this is very, very important that smoking or alcohol or drugs, they cannot relieve stress. Third is comparison. We said controller. Yeah, when we try to control, we are in stress. When we are in the company of the wrong people, then we are increasing our stress. And what is this third thing? Comparison. How do we increase stress by comparison? Anyone? See some other person as way better than me. Yes? Anyone else? Do you feel comparison increases stress? How? You feel insecure. You may have so many things in your thali. but what is there in hers? Yes? So ये जो भी अपने पास है, you feel अरे यार, I don't have that one, right? So there is this, I don't know how many of you have heard, there is this story called a 99 Club. So once there was a very rich zamindar. He was miserable, he was very rich. He had so much wealth. Everything was there, but he was always worried, always in misery. So one day he was sitting miserable, so he saw his servant. He had many servants in his house. So there was one servant, he was just doing, jhadu, khatka, just cleaning, dusting. But he's very happily doing it. He's singing and doing in his own, very freely he's doing it, an absolute bliss. He's not doing great work, he's just doing menial work, but he's very happy. So the zamindar feels, how is this? I have so much and I am in misery, and this person has nothing, and he's in so much happiness, he's so blissful. So he asks his friend. So his friend says, I'll tell you, do something. Tomorrow, in front of his house, you keep a pouch containing gold coins. Okay? But how many gold coins you'll keep? 99. Okay? Fine. The idea is executed. He goes and he keeps this pouch with 99 gold coins outside this man's house. So next day this person goes to his house, he sees, wow, there is one beautiful pouch. He opens it and he sees gold coins. So he sits down and starts counting. So when he starts counting, how many are there? 99. So, अरे ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? Again he counts. Again how much is it? 99. So how can it be? How can there be 99? देता है तो कोई 100 देता है ना, right? You go to some marriage, you don't keep 99 rupees, right? You keep 100 or 101, right? तो 99 कैसे हो सकता है? So again he counts. He calls his wife also to count. Again it is 99 only. So he has got 99 gold coins which he never had in his life. Okay? But he is not happy with that. What he is sad about? Where is that one? So from that day, his sukh, his chain, his happiness, his blissfulness was all gone. Because only thinking कि वो 99 को 100 कैसे बनाऊँ मैं? Now let me do something so I become 100. Let me work hard so I can get one more gold coin. So the next day when he came to the zamindar's house, he was no singing, he was no smiling, he was just 100 कैसे बनाऊँ? 100 कैसे बनाऊँ? Right? And the zamindar was like, wow, what a change, right? Why? Because he was not happy with what he had, but he was only yearning for that which he didn't have. And that is what makes the stress for most of us. Because we have so much, but we are not thinking of that. We are only thinking of what I don't have. And the best part is we feel that if wo mil jayega, if I have that, then I'll be happy. Now this person at 19 is saying, no, that one comes now, then when it becomes 100, then I'll be happy. So it's completely stressed. So this is what happens with comparison. But one thing we should remember, that all of us are not the same. Just like if you keep a race, in the forest, and you tell that, monkey and tortoise and rabbit and snake, everybody will run the same race. Will it be possible? On the land, each one is different. And if I tell the fish also should run in the same race, is it possible? No. Right? Because each one is unique. So each person is unique. Right? Each person's abilities are unique. We cannot all be the same. It may be the same path, it may be the same class, it may be the same journey, but each of us are unique. So comparison doesn't work. It's always like, because we learn it from school, first kaun aaya? Who stood first? Right? Arey first ka itna hai to mera kitna hai? Right? So comparison is one of the major things which can give rise to stress. And now with the social media, does this sound familiar? I was just hearing what are the things that people get stressed about on the social media? The streaks on Snapchat. Yeah? Am I saying it right? Okay, I think I'm updated now with a lot of things, which makes youngsters and so many people who are on social media very, very stressed out. And plus the social media influencers, right? Who seem to be like one of us, but what they present, we feel, arey yaar, just look at her, just look at him, and main kya? Where am I? And they set what? Couple goals, right? Friendship goals. Oh, slim waist, the fitness goals. And you're just logging it out and stressing it out, yaar, but unke jaise main banti nahi hu. Right? So this is where we are actually increasing our stress. Gap between reality and expectation. Right? And if we are perfectionists, we want everything perfect, then we want everything 10 on 10. Right? My marks 10 on 10. My mother should be 10 on 10. My father should be 10 on 10. My husband should be 10 on 10. My child should be 10 on 10. My job should be 10 on 10. My college should be 10 on 10. होता है सब 10 on 10. कुछ 2 on 10 होता है, कुछ 8 on 10 होता है, कुछ 10 on 10 होता है. Right? Shri Radha Gopinath ki jai. So everything is not perfect in this world. We have to understand that there is always a gap between expectation and reality. So many of the entrance exams that we give, right? JEE देते हैं, CAT देते हैं, UPSC देते हैं. Lakhs of students, and the seats are so few, right? And everybody is expecting that I will get those seats, correct? But does that happen? So does that mean those who don't get those seats are failures in life? Are they failures in life? No, they are not. So if I don't get that seat, I'm not a failure. The world may make you, you appeared, nahi mila. Second attempt, nahi mila. NEET, nahi mila. CAT, nahi mila. Oh, you don't become a failure, my dear friend. There is always a gap between expectation and reality. The reality is कि seats इतने ही है, ठीक है? So we have to have a plan A and a plan B also, correct? Don't just get distressed कि oh, that was what I coveted and that I didn't get, right? So there is always a gap between expectation and reality. There is always a gap between the real life and the real life. Yes, filters are a reality. Yes? Yes or no? Yes. Because this is what happens when young girls come to me and start crying. डॉक्टर कुछ भी करो, मेरे फोटोज इतने खराब आते हैं. Do something. Even old men also come saying this. फोटो में इतना गंदा दिखता है. अरे आप क्या, वो नहीं इम्पोर्टेंट है, फोटो में कैसा आता है वो इम्पोर्टेंट है. हाँ, but there is a gap between expectation and reality. Let's understand this gap. Let's be aware of this gap. Let's be connected to reality. Yes? So these 4 things we need to understand. There are many more, but that the minute we start being like controllers, we will get stressed out. We cannot control everything. Second, the company that we keep should not be something which will take us on a path which will be only destruction and stress. Third, comparison. Stop comparing. You should compare. You know with whom? With whom you should compare? With our own selves. Am I better than what I was yesterday? Compare. We have to improve our own selves, not compare with the world, right? If that comparison with anybody else is going to inspire you, yes, good. If it's a healthy comparison, yes, good. But if that comparison is going to pull you down, you're going to just sit and cry. You're only going to sit and feel depressed. Arey, I'm useless. Mera kuch nahi ho sakta. Main kahan? I don't have anything. Please don't get into that. Compare with your own self. We have to be better than what we were yesterday. Okay? And the fourth thing was, what is it? There is prasad after the program. You all are speaking so softly that I can't hear. Please say, what is there? Gap between reality and, so get to real life. Okay? What is there on the screen is not all real. Right? What is projected on the screen is not all real. Life doesn't go that way. Reality is different. Let's stay rooted to reality. Okay? ये स्टार ऐसे दिखता है तो मेरा हस्बैंड भी वैसा ही होना चाहिए, अच्छा मिलता नहीं है. ठीक है? Okay? So setbacks will come, right? Setbacks will come. Whether we don't get that seat, whether we don't get the subject that we want, whether we are not able to get that coveted job, whether we are not able to get that right, handsome, dark, handsome husband, or whatever. Correct? Setbacks aate hai. So what do we do when setbacks come? Sit and cry. Sit and cry. What do we do? You step back and bounce back. Okay? What do we do? And bounce back. Step back में उधर ही बैठो मत. आगे आना है. क्या करना है? Bounce back. Okay? So that is something called as resilience. Okay? That is something called as resilience. So the next few minutes we will just talk about being resilient. Resilient means bounce back. People are blaming you. People are talking bad about you. You are being whatever. So many things can happen, right? Your friend talks like this about you. People are trolling you. You get negative comments on your posts. Big calamity, na? Likes ही नहीं आ रहे. इतने घंटे वेस्ट करके फोटो डाले उधर. Like ही नहीं आया. So much stress. नहीं? It's too much stress, na? It's okay. Right? So what we need is resilience. What is resilience? Is to recover quickly. We go down, बहुत कुछ होता है negative, but that doesn't mean we keep sitting and crying. We have to bounce back. Okay? Life doesn't end with one incident. Okay? I lost this thing. मेरा इतना ही मार्क आया. Finish. अभी there is no point. I stood this. No point. यही seat है. No, life doesn't end that way. Human life is huge. Each of you sitting here have a unique potential. Each individual. No creation in the Lord's creation is useless. Tell me one thing in this world which is useless. Can you all tell me? Any one thing which is useless जो बना हुआ है ये creation में? No. There is no thing which is created in this world which is useless. So how can you be useless? Or how can I be useless? No. Each of us have unique potential. Each of us are gifted with something. So just be resilient. You have to bounce back. Things may not go the way we want. Okay? So today we'll just do this in the next few minutes of how we can be resilient. Okay? So we can see that spelling, be resilient. You can see that? Everybody can see that? Be resilient. So even if you forget a whole class, it's okay. Whatever we spoke till now, no problem. But just remember this, that we have to be resilient. So each one is an acronym for be resilient. So first thing is B is balance. Okay, we have to have a balance in our life, a proper balance, because time is ticking away. If you are a student, we have to organize our time in such a way that we don't keep things for the last moment and then get stressed. Oh no, kal ye karna hai, kal wo karna hai. No. Organize our life in such a way that you keep your priorities clear and balance it. Would that help? Will that help? Yes. And give time to the people who are most important. Right? We may have 200 friends on whatever. We have Twitter or Instagram or your WhatsApp or whatever. 200, 300, maybe thousands, so many followers and so many subscribers if you all have some channels running. But when you are shedding a tear, will any of them come to wipe your tears? Yes? You have such a big friend list. Some of you may have not met those friends also, but they are friends. Yes? Does that happen? Yes or no? But will they be there with you? No. Who are the people who are basic support system for you? Family. Your family. Yeah, people who are close to you, people whom you are interacting with. But with them, if you are sitting, you see those two families there. What is the difference? What is the difference? Can you all see the picture? Can you all see the picture at the end? What is the difference? You can speak loud. We are not judging you. I am not going to give you any this thing, that galat bola, sahi bola. What you all can see, you all tell me. What you all can see there at the end? Yeah. So they are together only physically. Same sofa में बैठे हैं, same hall में बैठे हैं, लेकिन they are each in their different worlds. Mother is in her world, father is in her world, बच्चे are in their old world. They are sitting physically there, but mentally somewhere else, right? Emotionally somewhere else. But we are not just physical beings, na? We have this also, we said, right? We have mind, we have intelligence, we have ego, we have emotions, all this is also there, right? So, but the other family is there bonding. So this is what is needed. So we have an age of technology, but the cell phones is bringing people who are very far, they are getting very close, but it takes away those who are sitting next to you. Correct? So if we have to have a balance, then we have to have this balance. You do what is needed on the social media or gadgets, what is needed, but don't hurt your support system. Give time, invest your time with your family, your parents, your friends who are close to you, your well-wishers who are very close to you. Please spend time, give them time, invest that time, right? So that is balance. Other than that, of course, diet, exercise, sleep, right? Body care is important. So in that balance, we have to balance our care of our body, care of our mind, care of our emotions. All this comes in balance. Okay? And what this saying is very important. The more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. Huh? Don't keep everything last minute. Whether you're a student, whether you're a professional, whatever it is, plan our life in such a way that when things are peaceful, you can do everything. Right? Because calamities will come. Second is E. Be resilient. So B is balance. E is enhance your strengths. There are certain strengths that we have, each of us possess. We have to enhance them. Some things we are strong at, some things we are weak at. Each of us have our strengths, each of us have our weaknesses. Intelligence is not just what you study in your school or college books. That is not intelligence, only intelligence. It is part of the intelligence. Okay? Intelligence is actually, divided into many. Those who are in the field of education, you will know there is something called as spatial intelligence, music intelligence, language intelligence, logic intelligence, mathematical intelligence, linguistic intelligence. So it doesn't mean that someone who has scored so much is intelligent. और बाकी सब डब्बू. ऐसा नहीं है. Okay? It's not like that. Each one have your strengths. Identify your strengths. If we are not able to identify, take counseling from someone who can help you with your strengths. But enhance those strengths. Because the minute we start enhancing those strengths, then we will be very good at what we do. And half of the stress will be gone. Okay? Regulate and practice self-restraint. वैसे क्यों कंट्रोल करना है? जाने दो ना माइंड को जैसे जाना है. I want to be independent. What is IDC in the new language? I don't care. Yes? IDC. I don't care. हाँ? तो क्या हुआ? Yes? Yes or no? But it doesn't work like that. I want to be independent. I don't care. Why should anybody ask me where I go, when I go, what I do? It's very irritating, na? At home, when कहाँ गए थे? What were you doing? Whom are you chatting with? What are you talking? It's very irritating, right? Yes? Because that is there. But why should we have restraint? Why should we regulate our life? Is it needed? So there is this verse, we'll not go into the verse, but it is explained that someone who's a real successful person has to have some restraint on what we speak, how we speak. It is very fashionable, right, to blurt out abuses. It's cool. Yeah, it's cool. Why only boys should abuse? Even girls should abuse. Yes? It's cool. Is it? Boys or girls, this tongue has a certain function, not for abuses. So one who can control the urge to speak, the one who controls our minds and other demands, that person is successful. Okay? So regulation is important. You have all seen football. Football is very independent, na? But it's not tied with anything, right? But what happens? It is kicked. कोई इधर kick मारा तो उधर kick मारा तो इधर, right? And you've seen a kite, right? Kite has strings, right? If I say, why should the kite have strings? ये सब rules, regulations सब बहुत. Why you have rules and regulations? This is too much. These strings I want to cut off. So if I say, okay, I want the kite to fly high in the sky, I cut off the strings. I don't want any strings. No strings attached. What will happen to that kite? It will fly high? Will it fly high? Yes or no? No, it will fly high. If you leave the strings, क्या होता है? You have done kite flying ever? If you cut the string, कट जाता है, तो what happens? It goes high up, but then what happens? It's gone. It's torn, shredded. It falls in pieces completely beyond repair at times. Yes, the string was the one with which you could fly high, but still maintain it in the right direction, right? Same way, our lives, we can reach very high levels. There is no doubt. There is no stopping. The sky is the limit. Achieve what you want. But keep your regulations. Understand your regulations. On whose basis? On the basis of the scriptures. On the basis of your elders who are there to guide you. Not my regulation. Arey, so what? Just one peg a day. That's my regulation. Does that work that way? No. Follow what the scriptures are giving. We'll go to that point next. So the mind, if it's controlled, it's your best friend. And if it's not controlled, it's the worst enemy. Okay? Will cause more damage. Just like a knife, if it is there in a surgeon's hand, that is a successful surgery. But if it's there in a thief's hand or a murderer's, criminal's hand, it can be dangerous. So similarly, this mind needs regulation. This mind needs control. And that is where the intelligence plays its role. You saw this? So this diagram you have to remember, right? Yes? So I gave the example of the kite. So how do you regulate, how do you strengthen your intelligence? Yes? That is E with enrich with knowledge. This knowledge will give us a direction. You see all these books here? Yes? These are scriptures. These are our manuals, right? Which give us a sense of direction in life. What should I be doing? How should I be dealing? What should I accept? What should I not accept? How should I discriminate? What is good for me? What is not good for me? Right? That is what is knowledge. The Vedic knowledge, the scriptural knowledge is something which will give us this sense of understanding. Okay? So till now what all we completed? We said be resilient, right? So we said B is for balance. Next, E is for, sorry? I didn't hear. Enhance your strengths. Then R we said is regulate. B finished. B, resilient. R is for regulation. And E is enrich with knowledge. We don't have time for a lot of these slides. But your knowledge should be from the right source. Right? Don't keep repeating the negatives again and again. The more you keep repeating the negatives again and again, what we said, the mind is like a book. Correct? So those are the impressions. Now you see the television newscast, every half an hour they'll keep telling the same thing. Right? आज वॉर हो गया, रशिया ने यूक्रेन पे वॉर किया, रशिया यूक्रेन पे वॉर कर रहा है, रशिया अब यूक्रेन के वॉर में बढ़ा रहा है. Same thing again and again and again, right? Same way, if we keep talking of our problems again and again, same thing. Arey, why did she say like this? Why did she do like this? Why she said like this? It's not going to end, right? Just like if I crack a joke, I tell the joke once, you may all laugh. Same joke, if I repeat second time, maybe you laugh little. Third joke, the same joke third time if I say, you say something is wrong with this Mataji, you know, but she's telling the same thing again and she expects us to keep laughing. So just like we don't find new pleasure in repeating the same joke, then why do we keep repeating our same problems and crying? Does it make sense? Yeah? जब हम joke को repeat नहीं करते हैं, because हंस नहीं सकते उससे ज़्यादा, तो हम बार बार problem को repeat करके रोते क्यों हैं? We have to rise above it. Yes, we have to move on in life. So the next is spiritual practice. S is for spiritual practice, and what helps us in this spiritual practice is meditation. And of all meditations, the meditation is this mantra meditation. What is mantra? Manatrayate iti mantra. Okay, that which liberates the mind. This mind, we are finding it not difficult, right? But this mind can be controlled by chanting the holy name. Mantra. Now we did this kirtan, right? So this mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this is a mantra. So this is not just some sentimental thing. There have been studies which have been done at different levels which prove that this, just by giving some time, 24 hours, some time in our day, we have to give some time to just sit, stop the flood of these thoughts coming again and again, and focus on the mantra. Maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, right? But it makes a significant difference. In fact, they have conducted studies where even so many diseases have responded. Like we had a study even in our own hospital at Bhaktivedanta Hospital, where they gave diabetes patients along with their medicines, even this, and they found that the patients respond in a much quicker and a better way when they do this mantra meditation. So give some time in your life, some time in your day, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I know all of you are busy, but give that time to focus on this. Cut off all other things and focus on the mantra. This meditation is very, very important. I is inventory of our own self. Sometimes we are so confused with so many thoughts, you know. Say you are very confused. Does it happen? You feel very confused. क्या हो रहा है पता नहीं चल रहा है. Does it happen? Yes. So at that time, we need to look in ki what's happening. So we may need help of someone whom we are confident, whom you can confide in, a mentor, or take to writing down your thoughts. When you put those thoughts down in paper, things become more clearer. It doesn't become muddled. So that is something which can actually help us. And when we take an inventory of our own self, we also should think that, am I very egoistic? That is why I end up with problems. Let me reduce it. Let me humble myself. Right? So these are few things. When we do an inventory, then we'll realize that we can cross over that period of stress. L for does learning end with your college? I've got my degree, हो गया, अभी कुछ सीखने का नहीं है. I know everything. I don't need to learn anything. Is that how it is? No. We are always learners, right? So the capacity to learn is always there. Always be eager to learn. And we don't just learn from human species. We learn from nature. We learn from things all around us. So always be eager to learn. When we are eager to learn, then what will happen? What are all these steps for? What are we doing all these steps for? For resilience, to bounce back. Yes? So, if you are learning, then there is no end to it. So, one very important thing that you should learn is, whenever there is a crisis, according to the Bhagavad Gita, we should remember that this too shall pass. A very important verse which is there in the Bhagavad Gita is Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya. All those of you who have a Bhagavad Gita, if you don't have, please take one. You can read this verse. That is, just like summer comes, it's too hot, right? You need the fan or you need the AC. But when it gets cold, that same fan or AC becomes a nuisance. You want to put it off, right? Because it will also pass. Just like summer comes, summer will pass, winter comes, winter will pass. So even those phases are rough patches in life, they will also pass. It is not permanent. It is temporary. So this we need to learn. I. Is there impressing this world? There is no gain. Is there any gain? Because that happiness, that high that you get is only for a short time, right? सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग, right? Our whole lifetime may go like that, but you will never be able to satisfy the people. What is important for us is those people who are important for us, our family, our people who are there for us, our support system, right? How we can do, how they would like us to do, or how they guide us to do. Okay? You know the story of that donkey? There was a father and a son who had taken a donkey, right? We have all read it na, when we were young. So first they were walking with the donkey, both of them were walking and everybody is laughing. अरे donkey लिया है और चला के दोनों भी चल के जा रहे हैं. So they say, okay, no. So son sits on the donkey, then everybody laughs, saying what? Old father is walking, son is sitting on the donkey. So then the son gets down. Who sits on the donkey? Father sits. So look at this father. He is sitting and making the young son walk. So they said, okay, forget, now both of us will sit on the donkey. So when both of them sit on the donkey, what they say? Abuse. They say donkey abuse. Yes, your animal, you are abusing this animal sitting. So finally they get so frustrated, they throw the donkey. Because you can never satisfy people's comments. People will comment for everything. Huh? You are dark, you are fair, you are tall, you are short, you are stout, you are thin. You can never satisfy the world. Alright? So please, don't try to impress the world. It's a no gain. Yeah? As many people will give you good likes, there will be many who will give you. Many will give you. Many people will give you likes. Many will give you what? Dislikes. We have to accept it. Yes? I think I went ahead. Priya, I need to get back to the slide. Sorry, I think I went. I just have to go back. Right? No. Yeah. Empathize with others. So whose story we spoke about this? We spoke about Muskan. Yes. When we are involved with our own problems, we think our problems are very big. But when we reach out a helping hand to others, we empathize with others' problems, then automatically our problem seems very small. Have you seen this? Have you ever tried this? Please try. Yes? Whenever you're down with a lot of depression, think of someone else you can help. Think of someone else you can help. Help yourself definitely with whatever, your medications or treatment or counseling. But at the same time, reach out to another person whom you can help. The minute you empathize with others, you get compassion. And that helps you to rise above your problems, becoming more resilient. Okay? Never ever give up. Never ever give up. Okay? So there is this a person, he was a shooter. He won so many Olympic medals. He was actually determined. He was representing Hungary and he was one of the sharpest shooters and he was bound to get the Olympic medal. But just before the Olympics, this is in the 1930s, he lost his right hand, his shooting hand. Okay? His right hand he lost. Can you imagine what it would be like? His only source of how he could shoot, and that was what he was. But he lost that. So do you think he went off to sit and cry and say, "Abhi kya? Abhi chhod do shooting, chhod do, kuch nahi karna"? No. You know what he did? He started shooting with his left hand, which was his only hand. Right? His left hand, which was his only hand. And this was in the 30s, when just before the World War started. So he was practicing. Can you imagine? When we are righties, you cannot even write a proper word with the left hand. Forget about sharp shooting. Is it possible? But this person was working hard to do it. Can you imagine the effort? He didn't give up. And finally he struggled till 1938, when the Olympics were supposed to be there, 38 or 39. But the Olympics was cancelled. Why? Because there was Second World War going on. So he said, okay, now next Olympics. Kept on struggling, trying. The next Olympics, 1944, even that got cancelled. It was only the one after that, that means 10 years after going through this crisis, he got to participate in the Olympics. And who won? He. The man with the only hand. He's known as a shooter with the only hand. And after that, he went on to win quite a few, record-breaking things. But can you imagine what if he had given up? Yes? So it's such an inspiration, never ever give up. Srila Prabhupada, whom we are so very fortunate to be sitting here, if he had given up, then we would not be sitting here. It's so simple. It's simple. It's absolutely clear. If he had given up, then we would not be sitting here to understand how to be resilient. Right? He went through so much of struggles. I really urge you that whenever possible, please read his life story. It is an utmost story of resilience. We all see our grandparents 70. Do you expect them to cross the ocean with 2 heart attacks and to go and give to people who are in drugs and alcohol, to give them this path of Krishna consciousness, this path of being resilient, and writing so many books? All that we see out there is what he wrote at that age, sitting at night and giving that. never giving up. It was not easy. It was not like a cakewalk. So much resistance, no money. He just went with 40 rupees. So Srila Prabhupada's life itself is a story of never give up. I'm not able to give you a lot of times explaining, it's a whole session in itself, but I sincerely urge all of you that please read it, because that will give you the epitome of being resilient. And the last point is be thankful. Be grateful for what we have. Count our blessings. Every time things bog you down, count the things that we have. We are blessed. Yes? Every morning we are able to get up, open your eyes. We have our limbs in place. Right? Someone was recently telling me, one of our medico friends, that we should be so grateful that we are alive after the 3 waves of COVID. All of us. Right? We know people who are our close people, our friends, our relatives who went away. Right? We have been given a life in the post-COVID era. Right? We have to be so grateful. Amongst all the things that we need to be grateful for. Right? These, right from every part, these eyelids, every part, when you see, you have to be so grateful. So thank your blessings. And gratitude is the best attitude. It can help us cross through so many things. Right? So count your blessings, not your problems. So when we have that spirit, then we will be resilient. So this is just a summary. Be for balanced life, enhance your strengths, regulate yourself, enrich with knowledge, spiritual practice, inventory of the self, learning attitude, impressing the world is no gain, empathize with others, never ever give up, and thankfulness. So we will close it here. We are already running late. I think we have a couple of programs lined up still. So please stay put, just few more minutes. But thank you very much for your very, very patient listening, your patient hearing and active participation. I'm very, very grateful to you, because all these points is more for me. Shri Radha Gopinath ki jai. So, and this whatever I put forth is a contribution from so many people who are already working in this field, and they have contributed to this. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol. So there's one thing if I'm learning from today's session is being resilient, which I'm taking, and I saw many people taking notes on their phone and their notebooks. So a big thank you to Mataji. Let us all thank Mataji by loudly chanting Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So we'll be having a small drama now. So I'll request the entire drama team to please come on the floor, please.
के दूध पियो मेरे लल्ला। तुम यहीं रुको, मैं अभी आती हूँ। हाँ गई बेटा। ओह कृष्णा, मैं जानती हूँ तुम छिप रहे हो, परंतु तुम्हें मुझसे डरने की जरूरत नहीं है कन्हैया। मेरी हंडिया फोड़ने के लिए मैं तुम्हें नहीं डांटूंगी। कृष्णा, कृष्णा, क्या तुम लोगों ने कृष्णा को कहीं जाते हुए देखा है?
नहीं यशोदा मैया।
कृष्णा, पकड़ लिया। कृष्णा मेरे प्यारे बच्चे, मैंने ऐसा क्या कर दिया? यदि तुम मुझसे ही डरने लगोगे, उस मैया से जो तुम्हें सर्वाधिक प्रेम करती है, तो कैसे चलेगा?
काला बादल।
हाँ, मुझे भी किसी संकट का आभास हो रहा है, और तुम भी कुछ कम संकट नहीं खड़े करते हो, परंतु मैं जानती हूँ कि तुम्हें संकट से कैसे दूर रखना चाहिए। अब चुपचाप यहाँ खड़े रहो, मैं तुम्हें बांध देती हूँ। मैंने तो ये रस्सी नाप कर काटी थी। अब इतनी लंबी ठीक है।
बांधना नहीं।
अब ये अवश्य पूरी हो जाएगी।
नहीं बांधो।
मुझे नहीं पता ये कैसे संभव है मेरे नन्हे कृष्ण। कदाचित तुम्हें बंधन पसंद नहीं, इसीलिए मैं तुम्हें बांध नहीं पा रही। कहो यही बात है ना? ये तुमने कैसे किया?
ठीक है, बांधो।
अच्छे बच्चे की तरह रहना और रोना नहीं। मैं अपने कार्य पूरे करके अभी आई।
माँ, मैया। वो देखो, कृष्णा फिर से भागने की कोशिश कर रहा है। देखो देखो, फंस गया। जब पकड़े जाओगे ना, मैया यशोदा बहुत पिटाई करेंगी।
कोई विशाल वस्तु गिरी है। हे प्रभु, समस्त जगत के स्वामी, हमें श्राप मुक्त करने के लिए आपका धन्यवाद।
कृष्ण,
भगवान कृष्ण, प्रणाम। मैं नलकुवारा हूँ और ये है मेरा भाई मणिग्रीवा।
हम इन अर्जुन वृक्षों में श्राप से बंधे हुए थे प्रभु। हमें नारद मुनि ने श्राप दिया था क्योंकि हमें हमारी संपन्नता पर गर्व हो गया था।
उन्होंने कहा, इस श्राप से मुक्ति का एक ही उपाय है। जब हम सर्वशक्तिमान प्रभु विष्णु के दर्शन करेंगे, तब हमें इस बंधन से मुक्ति मिल जाएगी।
हम आजीवन आपके भक्त रहेंगे प्रभु।
कृष्णा,
यहाँ पर हो क्या रहा था कृष्णा?
वृक्ष के गए अठराम।
इतने विशाल काय वृक्ष कौन उखाड़ सकता है?
कृष्णा ने वृक्षों को उखाड़ दिया।
कृष्णा, ये असंभव है।
सच में, वो इन पेड़ों के बीच घुसकर मुक्त होने का प्रयास कर रहा था और फिर इसने खींचतान की। फिर पेड़ उखड़ गए और उनमें से 2 देव पुरुष निकल आए।
2 देव पुरुष?
हाँ, उन्होंने कृष्ण से बातें की, सर झुकाकर प्रणाम किया और आकाश की ओर उड़ गए। जब भी कुछ अद्भुत घटना घटती है, कृष्णा आसपास होता ही है।
इस लड़के की बात सत्य है। तुम्हारे पुत्र में कुछ तो विशेष है नंद।
नहीं, ये विशेष नहीं है, ये तो अद्भुत है। क्यों सत्य कहा ना वृंदावन के लाडले?
हाँ, बिल्कुल अद्भुत।
कृष्णा, वृंदावन के प्यारे कृष्णा, है तू सबका दुलारा कृष्णा। वृंदावन सबका दुलारा। कृष्णा, कहाँ थे इतनी देर?
कृष्णा बोला,
ओ मेरा लल्ला, तू बुरा कैसे होगा? तू संसार में सबसे अद्भुत है।
शताब्दियों तक धरती पर गड़े रहने के बाद ये मुक्ति तो बड़ी भली प्रतीत हो रही है भैया।
बिल्कुल सत्य कहा मेरे भाई। अब हम आजीवन हमें मुक्त करने वाले कृष्ण का गुणगान करेंगे।
I would request, we won't take much time, I would request Mataji to give books to all the girls who've come for the first time. So जो भी लड़कियाँ चेतना के लिए पहली बार आई हैं, I would request आप अपनी जगहों पर प्लीज़ खड़े हो जाइए.
हरे कृष्णा.
जो भी लड़कियां पहली बार चेतना के लिए आई है, प्लीज आगे आइए. The next Chetana is going to be on 10 December. So all those who've come for the first time, I would request you all to please come on the following Chetana. It's on 10 December. Now we'll be having a beautiful Kirtan. So I would request all of you all to turn to Gopinath and take beautiful darshan. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.